is here. I wish you were beautiful, my thoughts aren't too clear. But don't run away, my girlfriend's a bore. My job is too dutiful, hell nobody's perfect. Would you like to play?
Hello and welcome to another edition of Neighborhood Training. We're going to get right to it. Today we're going to be working primarily on that section of Sandwich Road which takes into effect the Alderberry and Blueberry Lane area of Falmouth. And that area actually, I think we're going to see in the future, is going to become the kind of the village center, if you will, of Hatchville. I think we're seeing that develop over the last 5 or 10 years, and I think we're going to continue to see that happen. And if you look at what actually makes a village, we've talked about West Falmouth Village, North Falmouth Village, so forth. This area here is actually beginning to develop that. We have 2 houses of worship in this area, the Unitarian Universalist Meeting House and also the Jewish congregation, which utilizes the old East End Meeting House. And we are also gaining the baseball fields right across from Alderberry Lane. And also we do have some businesses, the winery, the kennels, a few places like that around there, the Cranberry Industry, the golf club, if you will. It's a little farther away, but the country club is right around the corner. So it does have all the aspects of that, and this area has also been identified as if we were to enter in an extra station, and if we all look at a map sometime and look where all the fire stations are located, they're all located along the coast, and there's really nothing in the center of Falmouth. This is actually the geographical center of Falmouth, if you will, and it has the road network that really supports that would get us out to certain areas, with Carrot Shop, Thomas Landers, in Sandwich Road. Being a good road network, we'd be able to cover quite a bit of territory, be geographical whole area that we have right now in Falmouth as far as our response times. But that being that could be the future. Then again, it might not. Depends on what the town finances are. So just as a quick overview of this area, if we look at it and just on one of these map areas here, I mean, what really begins to shape up from me here is obviously right off the bat we have this large area of woodland over in here. Now some of this is part of the state woodland, but all of this over here is owned by the town, so it will remain woodland like this forever, and so won't this area up here as far as the state is concerned. So we're always going to have to deal with these, probably I would say 50, well over 50 acres of woodland here, probably 50 to 100 acres of woodland right in this area here. And we do have a lot of houses that are very close to it. Obviously, the baseball field, it is primarily residential. We have the Blueberry Alderberry development there, mostly capes and ranches. And as we see, the baseball field, and then the golf course, which is more on the Coonamessett pond side. And we do have some, the woodlands over in here too. So that really, identifies this area here of what we're looking at. And without any further ado, we'll quickly look at the this map here, just to identify some of the roads that are in this area. If we can get it to work here. All right, now it's beginning to work. I'm going to start up a little bit. We've already taken care of the upper end of Sandwich Road, up by 151 and all the way down to Hayway Road. We've covered that in previous episodes. So we're going to be looking at that area that comes down from Hayway. And when we first come down from Hayway, well, we do have that nursery there. It's a fairly small nursery. So I don't think it's like a great big target hazard or anything, but it is something to be aware of. We're in the 1,000 numbers of Sandwich Road from the, I believe it's from the 800 to 1,000 area of Sandwich Road. We do have hydrants in the whole area, except we're going to point out one area that does not very shortly. One area that we will have to be concerned with, we've mentioned as we come along areas of Falmouth that do not have hydrants. Many of them do, but this area of Boxbury Hill Road does not. From Sandwich Road all the way up, there's not too many houses there, but there are a few single-family dwellings up here on Boxbury Hill. We should be able to handle that fine with 3 engines, having probably 2,000 gallons of water, but that is, especially for the officers now, this is something to be keenly aware of, that we are beyond 1,200 feet of our hydrant lays, and even for your engine drivers, we do, say, you should lay from a hydrant, and this is one of the cases here that you would run out of hose, but what ends up happening is we can have another engine come right behind you and connect to it, and we're certainly within 2,400 feet of a hydrant, so 2 engines can lay in if we need to. Here's our last hydrant here on a Schumett, right across from the Portuguese American Club, and then the other hydrant on Sandwich Road. Once we get into this area here in the middle of Boxbury Hill, we run over 1,200 feet. Theater Drive, we run over 1,200 feet as well. So that's a determination that we'll have to make, and those are the areas we have to worry about. Years ago, we did map out extensively areas that did not have hydrants, and they're becoming less and less nowadays, so we don't think of it that often. As you'll see here, the hydrants on Sandwich Road are giving us 1,000 gallons, if not more. So we're pretty well set up with water, especially when we're dealing predominantly with single-family dwellings that are well over 30 feet apart. So we're not really too worried about fire communicating from one house to another. We went up Fox Run Lane, all single-family dwellings. It's like 10 or 15 single-family, 2-story houses, probably 2,000 square foot measure around there. 2,500 probably being the maximum. Hydrants all the way around. There's Greenbrier Lane. It's not a road, a public road, but it is a road, basically a driveway to a residence, but they do have their own number, 53 Greenbrier Lane, but no hydrants as you see, but the one house in the back. We do have some setback homes here. Then we come into the neighborhood that we really want to focus on. I know we've been out there quite a bit for rescues and so forth. This neighborhood there, the Blueberry Alderberry Lane neighborhood, is mostly all capes. There are a few ranches in there. All single-family dwellings. I took a drive around there. I didn't see too many accessory apartments. The houses themselves are probably not much more than 1,500 square feet in size. The hydrants that there are good. They're almost 1,000 gallons themselves. So we have, as we come in, I just want to zoom in here and see if we can get a better. Okay, all right. Alderberry Lane comes in here off of Sandwich and runs all the way through to Carrot Shop. Okay, so that's how I kind of look at this development. It's pretty simple, pretty easily. But if you remember that Alderberry Lane runs all the way through from Sandwich to Carrot Shop, and then we have Alderberry Circle off of that near Carrot Shop, and then we have Blueberry Lane that runs right through there and connects to Alderberry. So that's pretty straightforward. I'd say it's characterized as a working class neighborhood. There's a lot of nice houses in there. There's a few that are not so good at the moment. I didn't see any abandoned houses or anything in real bad shape over there. Then right across the street from that, as I mentioned, we have the new ball fields that are being put in. It doesn't show them particularly on this map here, but they're in this parcel here. You know, our only problem really is, I mean, Sandwich Road is well traveled and can be a pretty high speed through this area here. So hopefully we won't have any traffic problems with people coming in and out of the ball fields. This is the Unitarian Universalist Church, which is, let's see. Okay. All right. Let's see. No, not really. About this one here. Let's try this one here. Okay, there's the Unitarian Universalist church there. And it also houses the Warcoit Nursery School. So it is used during the weekdays by the nursery school, and then on weekends for the worship services. It does have a box on it, a radio box. Okay. And then right adjacent to that is the Falmouth Jewish congregation, which I know we've been to several times for alarms, and they hold their services in the East End Meeting House, and that is one of target hazard that we would have in this area here, because it is a significant historical asset to Falmouth. And not only for its historical value, but also for being a house of worship. We want to particularly focus on saving some of the religious artifacts that are in there that are very important to the Jewish congregation, in particular their Torah. And it is stored in the, let's see, A, B, C, the back end, the C side of the building. If you walk in this front door, it does look like, you know, and it was an old congregational church, and it is open on the interior. And the main area where the rabbi does the service from is into the rear of the building here, the side C, and inside the stairways that go up and around to the second floor up here. So we would want to try and grab that if we can. One thing to notice, that unlike some of the old churches, the old congregational churches, this this tower up here does not hold a bell, which is significant if we were to have a fire in this building, which I hope we don't. You know, we in particular wouldn't have to worry about a heavy cast iron bell come crashing through or falling on us, which you would have to worry about on some of the other churches. This one does not. In fact, the bell, I believe, is displayed on the grounds, because that cupola is fairly weak. But this is, if we can do anything we can to save this building in a fire, we really should, because it would be irreplaceable. All right. And as we move on down, we will we obviously come to Carrot Shop Road right at the intersection, and we have the intersection with Hatchville Road, which I know we've gone over before, and now there's hydrants on that road. Now we have this DaCosta Circle, holds 4 houses in there and backs up to the cranberry bogs. And we have Thomas Landers Road, okay, and River Hill Road down in the bog area here. This area here of Sandwich Road is, they do have a lot of antique houses in this section here, because this used to be, and actually still is the back in the 1800s or so, this was kind of the, Hatchville really was a village way back when, and Sandwich Road ran all the way to Sandwich, so there were a lot of houses there. In fact, the poorhouse on Main Street next to the rec center they moved it from there to here anyway. But this house here is one of the older houses in Falmouth, and it's located right in the corner of Thomas Landers Road and Sandwich Road. So, it is obviously, once again, a significant historical significance for Falmouth. And we go down Sandwich, right off of Thomas Landers, we have Captain Eldridge Way. 3 or 4 houses in there, very reachable by hydrants. And then we have Cranberry Lane right here with a few houses in there. And I'll touch on this road here only because it's right here. We'll also touch it when we go over to look at Old Meeting House Road. But from here we have, because it's important as far as a cut through is concerned, you have Bittersweet Road and Treetop Lane, and we don't want to get confused as dispatchers and firefighters between Treetops, the condominium development, and Treetop Lane. Once again, just straightforward houses. The unique thing about this area here is that there are a lot of salt box style houses in here, which we don't see too often, and they've taken this configuration of a house, which basically front door, living rooms, it's kind of a half cape style, but with a salt box is described. It has a short roof in the front and usually a long roof, should usually facing north, but in this case here it doesn't, it's not necessarily the case. It has one long roof and one shorter roof up on the second floor. And in this development, they've taken different configurations. They've done it this way. They've done it the other long way. So they've kind of turned the house sideways, so the front door is actually right here. I only mention that because it's significant for us to be able to see a house and be able to predict where the bedrooms and living rooms are. And when we go around the exterior of the house, what might be a bathroom and what might not, as far as windows, and saving people and the fire's location. And we move down Sandwich Road. We have the Riverbend Kennels, and we have the winery across the way. This area here now, they show a house, but it's actually become conservation property. The Bartholomew property there has been bought by the town. So that is part of this Coonamessett River watershed property. Okay. Now we'll just cut through a couple of places. I wanted to show up this here. This is the barn. The old Munakis farm has really not been active in quite a while, and this barn is significant square footage. I mean, it's probably 5,000 square feet of a lumber yard right there, and it'd be a significant fire if we had to deal with it. Not too many exposures, just a tremendous amount of heat, and also flying brands depending on which way the wind was blowing. Luckily, there's a hydrant right in front. It was for sale. I don't know if there's anybody in there now, but it would be important because right across the street, as I mentioned before, is the East End Meeting House, which we do want to save. So this would not be a place where it had significant fire that I would really put anybody into. We just try and keep it down as best we could. And this here is just showing us the typical size house that is in the Alderberry Lane area. Like I say, typical story and a half cape. Pretty straightforward in the in its setup. And this is a house that's in Fox Run Lane. Once again, just a modification of a cape with a garage and the dormers. Not humongous size. 2,000 square foot, and this is the country club house. I think Cape Cod Country Club, I believe. We don't go there too often, but I mentioned that only because we don't have hydrants in this area. When the theater burned down, we didn't have hydrants. We still don't. And if this building here were to have a fire, we would, we would have to, lay in from another hydrant down the road, probably a half mile, or bring in tankers to take care of that. So we would be in a defensive posture for that. Let's see, I think as good as that is concerned now, we will just real briefly go over some of the aspects of this neighborhood. This is what I'm just going to call it, the kind of the village center of Hatchville, Sandwich Road. And we're talking Sandwich Road from Turner to Hayway, become the village center, primarily wood frame. Single family dwellings, although a lot of the other structures are wood frame, like the East End Meeting House, the winery and so forth are all wood frame buildings as well. The only non-wood frame that I think I found was a silo that's at the Riverbend Farm Kennels. It looks like it's made out of some sort of stone. As we mentioned, what the highlights of the area are. This area is 2 places of worship, baseball fields, antique homes, golf course. Pretty much a residential area. Would be a prime area for a location for a station that would reach the town. We mentioned that in a lot of the studies because this area is right at our 6-minute response time. We'd like to get to places within 4 to 6 minutes. This area here is on most days outside of our 6-minute response time, and it's a significant amount of our calls too. If you think of from perhaps like Pinecrest all the way up to the station here could reach up into Ashumet Valley and Plum Hollow and so forth. But these are the roads in that network. We went over them already. I highlighted these, Boxbury Hill and Theater Drive, because of no hydrants. The rest of them have hydrants. The points of interest we've gone over. And the travel distances here, we have a situation with Station 5 obviously can get there pretty quick. 3.4 miles. We do have to go back down some curvy back roads, unless you can get right on. You can come down John Parker and go right up there, but still John Parker is a little curvy to get down. So looking at 6 minutes, Station 1 is 5.6, but we do get a little, the headquarters does get a little jump on the call, and you get right down Sandwich Road, so they won't be too far behind. The other significant thing, and this is the Alderberry Circle, is that Station 3 is 5.3 miles. Right down 151, or even through Boxbury Hill, perhaps, and you come right out. So they should be there right at the same time as headquarters is. And Station 4, surprisingly, is the same distance from there as Station 3 is 5.3 miles. The only one that's odd man left out is Station 2, a little bit of ways away, but we probably won't have to worry about that. So 25 will get there, and then you should be looking at probably 3 minutes down the road, 2 or 3 minutes down the road, you should have another engine there for you. So that wraps up the this center area of East Falmouth in Hatchville. All right, thank you, and stay safe and eat healthy.